let's make 20 Christmas decorations from curtain rings. Hello everyone, I'm Caroline and today my aim is to make 20 projects for Christmas out of curtain rings. Now that is going to be quite a challenge. I'm going to see how it goes. I've got my ideas in mind. I've got lots of bits and pieces. Now you can make these out of I've got new curtain rings, my very festive glue gun. I've got some new curtain rings. I got these for, where's my price on these? £1.50 from the thrift store or charity shop. You can get them quite reasonably in Dollar Tree, Poundland, places like that. And also some of these will work with shower rings, shower curtain rings. So you can give that a try. They're available in Poundland and Dollar Tree too. So new, old, these I got from Temu. The only issue I had with these is one was snapped in half. But then again, sometimes I use halves, so I'm not complaining about that. Right, no time for chatting. Let's get on with crafting. For this first Christmas decoration from a curtain ring, I've got, surprise, surprise, a curtain ring. And for this decoration, I'm leaving the little hook on. Sometimes I take it off, sometimes I don't. This time, it's staying on. My little leaflet there, I've got a pile of these to remember what I'm doing with each pile that I've set out for the crafts. You should see my studio. 'Tis a mess. Let's straighten you up a little bit. You're a bit wonky. There we go. No, that's even worse, isn't it? Try you about there. I think you're okay there. We'll put these little embellishments aside, and I've got this ribbon, and I think it's really pretty. I think it's actually fabric rather than ribbon. And I'm just going to do something really simple to make a start, but it's going to have a lot of impact. I want to wind this ribbon around this curtain ring to start, to give us a basis, but I think it's too thick. I don't think it's going to lie very well. Let's have a look. Oh, I don't know. I quite like it crumpled like that. Oh, I'm keeping it long. Always remember, don't cut anything until you're absolutely sure you want to cut it. What I am going to do is cut this into smaller sections because it is far too long to use in the big roll it's in. And this may be enough. Pop on your festive finger protectors. This will work better if you've got festive coloured ones, but you'll manage without. There's no harm in having a bit of fun. Oh, look, my glue gun's hat fell off. I thought it'd be cute with a little hat on. Anyway, let's make a start by, I'll scrunch this up a bit and sticking it into place and then pop my glue gun's hat back on. There we go. Feels more comfy with his festive hat on. And now we're just going to wind this around and around. If you, like me, you've only got single-sided ribbon, you've got the back and the front. Try to make sure that you always end up with the pretty side outside. It's so easy to accidentally twist it and then you've got the not so pretty side showing. Well, this desktop is fairly reasonable for the beginning of a 20 Christmas craft ideas. By the end of this video, I would imagine we're going to have a bit of a mess. It's amazing just how much clutter you get around the place. And I don't want to stop. When I get in the flow, I just want to go and go and go because I love Christmas. And Christmas in July is fun because it's like a naughty Christmas when you shouldn't really be having, but we're having one anyway. So that is really easy to do. You can do it with ribbon, you can do it with fabric, you can do it with twine, anything you like really. There are no rules. I'm going to chop that off. A bit more glue. Glue it to the back. And if you're going to reuse your curtain rings like I am, then the less glue you use, the better. You have to do enough, obviously, otherwise it just won't be covered. It'll keep falling off. But as long as you do enough, then don't overkill. Next thing I'm going to do is put the hanger on. I think it'd be a good idea to get that done out of the way. And for this one, I'm using some embroidery floss. Chop it off. Then you can either just put it through once, or I always like to, for some reason, I just like to put it through double. And then open up the loop, poke the two ends through, pull it down, and then tie a knot in the top, which is really difficult with your finger protectors on. There we go. So look at that. Already it's looking very cute. You could just cover a Christmas tree with lots of, like, I don't know, whatever, red and white fabric curtain rings, bohemian pattern curtain rings, blacks and whites, and greys, monochrome. You could do on beiges and things. It's amazing what you could do just with plain covered curtain rings. But that's not enough. We want to embellish. So I have here a little tub of what I thought were suitable embellishments. Okay then, so first thing we're going to do is some foliage. Always best to put a background foliage on. This is off a pick. It's a random pick. I pick up picks. Pick up your pick in the thrift stores very cheaply after Christmas, and then you can cut them apart and do what you like with them. And they're a very reasonable way of getting festive picks and festive embellishments. So at the top, nice blob of hot glue. I tend to overdo it, but then again, you know it's going to stick. And then you can make this as simple or flamboyant as you like. There's nothing wrong with a bit of flamboyant, and there's nothing wrong with a bit of simplicity. You just pick what you fancy. Right, I'm going to... Whoops. Everything clatters when I'm using glue because of the glue strings. They stick to everything. You pick one thing up and 3 things move. Now I'm going to pop a little bit extra glue on there. A lot of extra glue, really. Pop that on. And I like that. You may think that's a bit too much foliage. I think it's lovely. Now I just want some berries. Oh yes, I like that. So I'm going to stick the pine cone on. Probably need a bit more glue. There. And then some glue on there. Pop my berries on. The thing is with these berries, you're going to have to be careful because little bits of the like plasticky coating comes off and then you end up with bits of white showing. Well, you can see there. Yeah, that's a mess. You can't use that. And then I think I'll snip that little bit off there. This is just fine tuning. Whatever you fancy doing. I'm going to stick a little bit of glue on there. Try to make it a little bit of glue. And then pop those over there. And that hides all the attachments. And I think that's enough. I was wondering about variations. I could put a little reindeer on or something like that candle. But I think that's lovely. Looks very traditional, but also would look good on a Scandinavian Christmas tree, a red and white Christmas tree, whatever you fancy, really. Definitely on a bit of everything tree. Right, so that's project number 1. Undrow belts. Let's get on with project from a curtain ring for Christmas number 2. For a second curtain ring Christmas decoration, I've got this curtain ring I've used before. I don't have a hanger on this one or a loop, but that doesn't matter because I'll just make one as I'm going along. And I've got this twine. I'm not sure what you call this. Is it, I don't know if it's chenille or just glitter twine. No idea, but there's lots of it. I'm going to chop some off and then I'm going to come around this. I've got my finger protectors on. I'm just going to completely cover this curtain ring. I go round and round with this twiny, yarny, fuzzy, Christmassy stuff. It's going to take a while because it's so thin. Now, I could have doubled this up, which I did intend to, and then I forgot. So I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll show you how, if you've forgotten, you can change it halfway through. So pull it through, so you've got the other end near the curtain loop. Just glue that into place. It's really simple, as long as you don't glue everything to your glue gun. So a little blob of glue. Pop it on, make sure you've slid everything up nice and tight, and then you can chop that end off. And now it will be so much faster using double thickness. Oh yes. So now it's just a matter of going round and around, and yes, well done, you've guessed it, and around. See you when I've got to the end. When you get to the end, well, what I like to do is just run a little bit of glue right the way around. You put your blob of glue on, put the end of the yarn there, and then you just got to flap it. You can see where the top is, and I'm going to use some more twine. You can use some of this to hang, but I find it a bit bulky. So I'm going to use some more of this embroidery floss. This time, instead of going through the hole of the loop with the double piece of floss, it's a very long-winded way of describing it. I'm just going to go around the curtain loop and then put the ends through the loop, pull it tight, and you've got yourself a hanger. Now this one, I thought I'm going to use this. Look at that. Now keep an eye out in thrift stores, charity shops. Sometimes I pick these up for 10p and they're lovely. It's very light as well because it is awkward. If you put too much weight on the front of one of these curtain ring decorations, it can fall forward. So I am going to glue that into place on there. And I may add a little bit of something as well as embellishment. Something white and something light and airy, I think. I think this will be ideal. It's a very small white felt star, so I'm going to glue this it's not going to actually fit onto the actual curtain loop. So I'm going to put it on the curtain rings. I'm going to put it on the loop, if you see what I mean. I think I'll put one on the other side too. I don't have an identical one, so I'm going to pop a similar one on. You don't mind, do you? And that way then, if this doesn't hang straight, it'll be okay. So now I need to glue this. It actually sticks on quite well, just with the felt on the fuzzy bits. So I'm just going to pop a little bit there, yeah, on his head there, and on his back leg there. That should do it. Now you can do this with anything. You can do it with like a Santa head, a flower, anything like that. I want this reindeer shooting up to the stars. He's flying through the sky. And that is so cute, so simple. And that's what I love about these crafts. They really are easy. They're quick. You can get a few done of an evening. And if you like to sell your crafts, you can really churn them out then. Right, that's curtain ring Christmas decoration number 2. Let's get on with the next one. For curtain ring Christmas decoration number 3, I've got these beads. I got a whole, well, let's have a look. They're probably 3 meters. Ooh, clatter, clatter. 3 meters of these beads for 50p in the thrift store. So I'm going to take them apart and rebuild them, which sounds a bit bonkers, I know. But I'm going to do something special that incorporates curtain rings. So I'm going to try and cut this now without cutting my fingers. Always best not to chop your fingers. And then if I take some off, I can pop that under my jar, like that. And I know where they are, but I don't need to take them all off. Right, I've got this wire. Now, I'm not very good on gauges of wires. This is, all I can say is it's thin wire. You can see there's nothing much to it. If I put it by a pipe cleaner, very, very thin. I thought I'd get this pack, and I know they're all the same. This one was 50p. Open them up. And also, these are a bit smaller. So I think it'll probably work a little better if I can get them open. They don't want to come out. Come on out, chicken. Like that. Don't need the little information on how to fix them to curtains because they're not going on curtains. And now I'm going to put on, I think I'll put on a bit of a pattern. So I'm going to put a green, a red, a green, and a red and a green. I know that's not the most exciting pattern in the world, is it? Red and a green. And then I'm going to put on a curtain hoop. So when it's on, our curtain ring, when it's on, like that, and then I'll put another green bead on. I might as well pop a red one on as well, seeing it's there. And then when you hang it, you get that effect. Now, I think that is really nice. I love the contrast between the reds and the greens, which are like rich Christmassy colours, and then white, which is a Christmassy colour. So it's just a matter of remembering how many beads you put on. So I want 2 reds, 3 greens every time. So I really don't want to get this wrong. It will stand out a mile. When you've all fixed it together, you don't want to have to go taking it all off again. So what I'm going to do is every time I do this, I'm going to make sure I've got 3 reds and I end each side with a green. And that should, in theory, help me to get it right. And I've just dropped. I picked up my beads. They slipped through my hands and they've all gone all over the floor. Oh no. Right, I'm going to keep my hand there. So how are we doing now? Which end am I? I'm completely lost. I've got myself confused. Now we've had it. I'll never get it back again. Right, there we go. So we got... Where's my curtain ring gone? I tell you what it is. There must be a little gap in these. Right, let's see if I can hook it in then. Right. Oh, sneaky, sneaky. So I'm just going to put a little daub of glue there. Oh, well, I'm glad that happened on camera because now you can see. If there's a little gap, always each ring, just put a tiny blob of glue and it'll be fine. So I'm going to unwind myself. Very, very clattery, I know, I'm sorry. Quite a bit of this. And then I'm just going to carry on with 3 reds and a green. And then a curtain ring. And I'm going to keep going until I run out of curtain rings and beads. And I'll be back to show you how we're getting on. Oh, don't forget, little blob of glue on that little gap there. Tiny bit. It's very difficult to get a tiny bit out with a bigger glue gun, but I've managed. I'll get some off with my fingers. There we go, and any mess will be hidden behind the beads. Right, I'll see you when I get to the end. I'm on the home straight now, so I've got my last curtain ring, and it has been a bit like trying to herd cats. I should have got a tray. If you're going to do this, get a tray or a bowl or something, because I'm having to go down here now to get some more beads. These beads are going everywhere. I thought it'd be quicker to just get on with it and not go find a tray. I didn't. I've lived to regret it, but still, I'm nearly there now. You could use, I suppose this would look really lovely if you could get like a crystal bead, something like that. You could get blue beads and put blue bows and paint your curtain rings blue, or leave them white and have like a Frozen themed Christmas garland. You could, oh, this would take a while, but you could individually wrap curtain rings with some twine and then little gingham bows, and oh, that would look really country, wouldn't it? Like a fabulous country Christmas. So you can really do anything you want with these. I've also found the easiest way to do it is to have it hanging off the end of my desk. You can't see what's going on down there, and then the beads just naturally fall down the wire. I just got to pick it up. You can't see, but you can hear them all clattering down the wire. Now I've finished, so I'm going to decide how long I want. I'm going to put like a loop and tie it in a knot on the end here. That will be good. Then you can hook this over whatever you want to do to finish it off. And then I'm going to cut this. Don't cut wire with your scissors unless you've got one that is really good at cutting wire. Mine particularly is a very good scissors. There we go. So I'm going to now, what's going on here? I'm all knotted up. I'm going to cut myself a nice length of this. Probably longer than I need to, but it's just easier than fighting with all the loops and curls. I can put the wire to one side. Untangle me tangle. I can't be doing with tangles. And then fold it up to make a loop. Oops, I've lost my finger protector. Tie it in a knot. That side's a lot smaller than the other side, but if you don't tell anybody, I won't. Check that all your dingly-dangly curtain rings are lying the same way. If not, you just need to twist the little hook thing that they're hanging on to be the right direction, and then you just hang it up, and I think that is lovely. I love the simplicity of it. I could add a bow. Let's have a look. You know what I'm like for changing my mind. Let's see what it would look like if I put a festive red bow, just a simple 2-loop bow over the top of where the curtain rings are attached. Just take that finger protector off. It's driving me bananas. So these are easy to do. Just make yourself 2 loops, you know, if you're a regular. They're the ones I prefer making because they're nice and quick. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. I like that. I'm going to end up having to make like a dozen little bows now. What do you think? Would you go for the bows or not? I think I'm going for the bows. So I've just tied a gazillion, or it feels like a gazillion, it's only 12 really, red bows, little red 2-loop bows. And I'm going to glue them onto the top of the wreaths or the little curtain rings there. Why is there a little piece of greenery on there? Go away. We're only into project number 3 and already my desk is getting very messy and cluttered. So I can stick it onto the beads and the curtain ring. I'm not going to just cover the curtain ring. I think they look better showing off the curtain ring. What do you think? Or should I put it lower? Let's try the next one a bit lower. And then you can decide then what you prefer. No, I think it needs to be stuck over that little bit of metal. I think it looks better. So popping it on there. Oh, I think this is looking so much better. This is the problem though. I had the problem of trying to fit in 20 crafts this week. And it was a bit of a push, but I thought I can do it. And then I start making the crafts and I think I can make that better. I can add to that. And then it just takes so much more time, but it's so much more fun. So I've decided I'm going for it. Let's do the best job we can do. And then if it takes longer, it takes longer. I don't think I'll be late getting the video out, but I should be, well, I should be okay. But if I'm a little bit late, then you'll know why this was a bit late. It's because of the intensity of me taking my time, adding more than I planned to add. Tying the bows wasn't funny, but now I've got them all tied. This is quite fun. And I think you can buy ready tied bows. I think there are people on eBay that actually tie bows into little tulip bows like this and sell you them. That wouldn't be the job for me. I don't mind tying bows. When I'm tying a lot of the same bows, it gets a little boring. If that's all I did all day long was tie bows, I think I get pretty fed up with that. I like to have different things to do, have a little bit of a change. I don't mind routine, but I also love variety. What about you? Could you do that if your job was to tie bows all day? Would that suit you? Or would it drive you bananas? Oh, I'd like to say a huge thank you to all my subscribers who've been following me. Some right from the beginning when I started this channel, right up to anybody who's just subscribed after seeing my latest videos for Christmas in July. Big thank you all for your subscription. And also, if you're just here for the first time, welcome. It's lovely to have you here. I try at the moment to answer all my comments. I'll read them anyway, but I do try at the moment to answer them all. So if you want to send me a comment, I'll try and get back to you. I do love your comments. I love reading them. I love seeing what you prefer, which was your favourite and what you would do with an idea. Maybe I got the idea and I've inspired you, but you want to do something slightly different or very different. Let me know. So this is it. And yes, definitely. For me, those bows make this. It takes it up a stage. This is now looking quite high end, I think. I love it. I think it's fabulous. Beautiful. You can have it looped. Imagine if you've got miles and miles of it going all the way around your wall. Round and round the Christmas tree will look fabulous, or just simply draped on something. Right, so that's project number 3 done. Now let's see if we can make project number 4 a bit faster. For Christmas curtain ring craft number 4, I've got a curtain ring. See, this one's still got a little bit of tinsel on. I'm going to pull that off. And I got some tinsel. I don't need that big long piece, but this is a little bit too fluffy for this curtain ring. It's just going to turn it into a big blob. It's going to look like a ball. So I need to make this a little neater. And it's really easy to do, but it's really messy. You just got to come around and trim everything down. Give it a bit of a haircut. Well, I suppose it's giving it a lot of a haircut, because you can see then, if I just get this one piece all nicely trimmed to show you the difference. Does take a while. Can you see that there? And that is going to make such a nice job of going around here. If you buy the thinner I think this tinsel, you can buy it in craft shops and Hobby Lobby, possibly in Dollar Tree and Poundland at Christmas time, and you will get this really thin tinsel, but I haven't got it, so I'm just going to trim this. So I'm just going to lose now probably 10 minutes of my life trimming my bit of tinsel, and I'll be back when I finished. But fortunately, the cleaning up isn't fun, but the trimming it is quite therapeutic. As long as you're not rushing to do 20 Christmas decorations in 1 week's video. So I shall go as fast as I can and get back to you. I was just sitting here chopping away, and I thought, oh, I tell you what I could do. I usually, at the end of one of my projects, say, if you're enjoying the video, then why not subscribe? And I think I'll say that now, because that way then I'm not going to interrupt between any project. So it passes the time for me too, because this is rather slow. If you are enjoying these videos so far, then please subscribe. That way then you'll get to know whenever I put out any new content, especially Christmas in July content. You don't want to miss that. It'll be gone in a flash now. Christmas in July is only really 4 videos, and I put out a compilation video on the 1st of July, so it's 5 videos for me, but the month just goes so quickly. And also, you probably know by now, if you're regular YouTube watchers, that if you ring the little bell, which I always forget to do, it will notify you when I put new videos out. And if you're liking the Christmas, I've got lots more other videos coming out, but there's going to be a lot of Christmas videos from September on. We'll have some fall videos and Halloween, things like that, but there will be a lot of Christmas coming out after September. Right, I shall carry on and see you in a few minutes. So there we go. You really don't want to see the state on my carpet. Even my furry fleece is covered in all bits of tinsel. But it looks so much nicer now, doesn't it? So now I can't find my curtain ring. Oh well, we'll use this one. And you can pull the bits of glue off if you want to, but if you're covering it with something like tinsel, you don't need to. That's if you are recycling a curtain ring. So now I'm going to go around the curtain ring with the tinsel. And it will make such a lot of difference not being thick and bulky. One, it'll be easier to spin around anyway and pull through the hole. And two, it is going to look like a circle. I love tinsel. It went really out of fashion at one point. Nobody was using tinsel. And even when I was a little girl, Christmas cards were in, they were covered in glitter. You'd get a scene covered in glitter. And then they were really out of fashion too. But these things come back in. And I think glitter and tinsel should be here forever. I love anything sparkly. I think it just brightens up. I think what it is when you look at this piece of tinsel, there are so many highlights of light. And I think light is really, it does us a lot of good sometimes to have that brightness in our lives. And tinsel and sparkly things tend to bring a lot more light into our lives. So that's what I reckon. What do you think? Do you think I'm talking nonsense, or do you think it's got a point? I do love, it's like candles. Even on a dark evening, if you've got a candle lit, that little highlight of light where your candle is just brightens things up. Even though it's not like a blinding white light, I think all that light going into your eye does you good. But that's my theory. I'm no expert. I just know what I like. And then, where's the end? I've lost the end. There it is. A little bit of glue. And pop it on. Boing. I've done that before now and forgotten. I've taken my finger protectors off for some reason. And I've done it with my finger. And it's like, oh, that hurts. Now I'm just going to give this a last little trim. Because you can see you always miss some little bits. And it would be good to have more little bits of glittery tinsel all over my carpet, in my clothes, in my hair. If I had a dog, the dog would be covered in it as well. It'd be floating in the goldfish bowl. There we go. I haven't got a goldfish, by the way. Right. Let's clear all that off. And now I've got this. This is what they call, it's off a chandelier, an old chandelier. And this is what they call the spangle. I had some of these. I bought some things from auction and there was just a bag of these in there. And I thought, oh, well, I can use those. They take a little bit of fiddling around with. These wires can be really misshapen and bent. But that doesn't matter. I'm going to use that wire to attach this to the loop. It's got a lovely dangle and this glass really catches the light. So I'm going to hook that over and then push it into place. You may be able to buy a new one of these and just tie it on. Anything sparkly. You can buy plastic beads that have got facets on them. They would do just as well. And now, before we go any further, let's get the top hanger on. There we go. I think that's it. Maybe a little bit off. Not too bad. And then, oh, look at that. I didn't get that very even, so I'll just pull that around there. Tie a knot in the end. Let's take that off. Ah! I forget they're on, then I forget they're off. There we go. So that's the back, that's the front. If you get these, I've cleaned these. You may need to give them a clean if ever you pick them up secondhand because they can be really greasy or covered in smoke or whatever, and they don't glisten as well as they could. Now you've got the option to do something extra to this if you want to. No, I was thinking, well, have a look, but I'm not sure I want to. I think I like the simplicity. So I've got lots of bits and pieces. You know me, I like to take things apart. This is off an old flower arrangement thing, which was falling apart when I got it. I got it for like 10p from a thrift store because it was so bad. I thought, well, I don't mind it being bad because I'm going to take it apart anyway. And I get a bargain that way. So I can either put them there. I like to make this decision process when you're with me rather than make it and then just plough these things out. I like to just have a little look. Oh yeah, I like that. I think I'm going to go for putting those up there. What would you have done, top or bottom? Or would you leave it simple? I just think it needs a little bit of some sort of glamour. See, and I forgot my finger protector. And I think perhaps a pearl. What do you think about a pearl? Let's see if I got any pearls. Yes, I got a pearl from an old necklace. Again, I bought it in a auction. It was on a broken necklace that was falling apart. And it's not even a real pearl. You can see where the plastic coating is peeling off the plastic bead. But that doesn't matter because I'll stick that on the back. And look at that for the classy look. That just looks so high-end, elegant, glamorous. Oh, so many things you could call that. I just love it. What do you reckon? So that's project number 4. Project number 5 is going to be a challenge for me. I know I shouldn't have done it where I'm in a hurry, but I do love a challenge. So I'm going to get a curtain ring, but I definitely want one that's been used. I want some glue on it. It'll just make life so much easier. And I've got some embroidery floss, and this is sort of in a Christmas tree colour. There are different shades of green, I know, but I'm going for this one. You can use it darker if you want to. And then I'm going to tie a knot at the top. I think I'm going to put I know what I'm going to do. I was going to do that, but I think I'll create the loop. A nice long loop. I don't want it too short. You can always shorten it when you put it wherever it's going. But if you make it too short, sometimes it just doesn't work where you want it to be. And then I'm going to put that around the curtain ring, and tie this up. And then a tiny dab of glue, really tiny. Just use the little bit that's hanging off the end of my glue gun and pop it there. Now I don't want to cut this because I don't want to cut it too short, but it's awful clumpy. I think I'm going to go for taking a risk. I'm going to cut a load off, and hopefully that's enough. Now this, if I didn't have a piece of glue on the bottom, I would add some now at this point and let it cool. And it just gives it that little bit of grip. So now I want to come down and back to the top, and then go over slightly and back to the top, and over slightly and back to the top. And now when I come back to the top, I'm going to pop the hanger the other side of this. I'm just going to go over slightly and back to the top, and over slightly and back to the top. Aha. Now that makes a difference because there isn't any glue on the back there, so I'm just going to put some on. Little run of it. You can see there the difference. I can't get it to hold in place. Let that cool a bit. Make sure my hangers come up the right way. And then, I'm going to put it in the glue, let it dry there. Now this one doesn't want to stay on, so I'm going to glue that one in place as well. Come on, you stay in put. I can see there's not much glue on that end either. So I put quite a thick wudge, I think, of glue before I started on these to make sure they stay a little bit like a non-slip rag. And what I'm going to do, I hadn't planned to do this. I think I'm going to come along all the way around with some glue. And then pop my finger protector on and make sure they're in the right place. And then they're not going to wander anyway. Right, finger protector off. Now I'm going to tie a double knot in the floss to the piece of floss that's at the top, and then add some glue, pull it tight, pop my finger protector on, push it down and give it a press, and then trim the end off. Be careful you don't trim off the hanging loop. It is surprisingly easy to do. And now you've got your options of what you're going to do for putting a star on. Now I got this glitter, well, tinsel, and I thought, well, let's have a look, see what that looks like. So I'm going to pull one of those off. It's not really clear enough, is it? There we go. I'm going to use this one, which is the prettier side, that is. So I put a little bit of glue on there. Pop that on there. And I got myself a hanging Christmas tree. That was really easy. You can add little tiny beads onto the green floss if you want, with the embroidery floss. You can use yarn for doing that. It's up to you. But that is such an easy thing to do. Very quick, very easy. And looks quite clever, I think. Your friends will be impressed. They say, oh, where did you buy that? I say, I made it myself. I definitely put my star with the point sticking upwards, or I put that on wonky, haven't I? Don't tell anybody and I won't. There we go. So that's project number 5. Right. I've got a problem. I thought I turned the camera on and I hadn't. So I'll talk you through this little decoration that I made here. There was a lot more to it than this. The bell was actually attached to a hand from a Santa I bought for like 10p in a car boot sale because it was falling apart in a terrible state. So I just took all the bits off. I had to unscrew the bell from the hand, and then I glued it into this curtain ring, which I had already then covered. I did show you, but the camera wasn't on. Covered this in this thin burlap. The thinner the ribbon, the neater the job it does. And I just love that. Then I started to, I put a loop on. And I've decided to use the burlap for the loop. And here you can see, if you haven't got holly, I was showing you, you didn't see that either, that if you got some holly but you don't want to use it, or you don't have any holly, it seems a shame to take this apart, then you can use, I got other little bits of fern and some leaves. You don't need to actually use holly or ivy or whatever is seen as standard for the season. You can just get away with mixing things up. And so then I added some white berries, and I've come up with this. And that is so simple. It's so country Christmas, isn't it? I just love that. I'll tell you what would look wonderful. If you had a big bell and did the same with a big ring, I may do that. That's got me thinking. That may feature in the future. Right, so that's project number 6 done. You can tell it's number 6 because I'm writing down as I finish on here. I had written it on a piece of paper and I'd lost my piece of paper. So I thought, I'm not going to lose my ribbon. So there we go. I can put down there now, project number 6, and let's get on with project number 7. Okay, so it's time for Christmas curtain ring craft number 7. I've got these little hats. I've been wondering what to do with them. I ordered them and I did think they were bigger. They're great for the fingers, but they're not good for much else. Oh, look, I've lost my Santa hat off my glue gun. So I've got 2 ideas with these, and one of them, I've got 2 curtain rings here, but I think I'll get one with a hanger on. There. And I thought that this is very simple, very silly, but I thought it'd be a bit of fun. If I come to the top of the hat and then push that ring through the knitting there, and then I'm going to stretch this down as far as I can, lift it up, add a little bit of glue there, pop my finger protector on, pull that down over the top of the glue there, and then do the same this side. Push it down there, add a hanger, you know the routine by now, pop the loop through, pop the end through the loop, tie a knot in the end, and that's very simple, very silly, very easy, very fast Christmas decoration number 7. And I actually really like that. I love the simplicity of it. It's easy to see what it's supposed to be, but it really didn't take much effort at all. And imagine how quickly you could make a set of 6 of these to decorate your tree. Right, time for the next one. This next Christmas craft with a curtain ring really is another variation on a theme. It's very silly. I think it's even sillier than the last one. The last one looked quite good. This one's going to look really silly. So first I'm going to put this one on like we did with the last one. And now I'm going to get another hat. New glue. And put a dab of glue by that hat. Put this on there. Hold it for a couple of seconds. And then pull this around. So it's about a third of the way around again. Because we're going to actually put 3 hats on. And I don't know what I'm thinking with this one. It's just going to be a little bit crazy, and well, there's no harm in a bit of craziness, is there? And then I get my last hat. And funnily enough, it wouldn't surprise me if somebody says, oh, I really like that one. Because we're all different. We all like such different things. Stick that on there, pull that over there, and then I'm going to hold it in place until it dries. So that is my very crazy Christmas hat decoration. I'm going to put a little bit of glue here and hold the hats in place this side as well. So I'm not sure. I really would love to know if anybody out there likes this. I think it's cute. Whether I would put it on my main Christmas tree is debatable. What do you think? I suppose, we could always put something in the middle, couldn't we? Determined not to be beaten. It's an old Santa beard. I'm going to cut some of this off into a bit of a sort of roundy, squarey sort of shape. Like this. And then I'm going to come in from the back. Where's the top? There. Tuck it inside the bits of hat there. Pull out the bottom bit there. Oh, I think we've redeemed that. Have we redeemed that or not? Maybe we haven't. I tell you what, in for a penny, in for a pound. Let's stick a nose on him. A blob of hot glue there. What do you think? Do you think that's my? I think we've recovered it a little. I don't think it looks quite as bad as it did. It doesn't look much better. What do you reckon? Is that my disaster of the day or not? I certainly don't think it's my finest moment. Let me know what you think. That was project number 8, and it's different. Project number 9 is going to be a little bit different. I think I'm going to find it a bit of a challenge, but I'm going to go for it anyway, because I know what I want to make, but I don't know if it's going to work. It's one of those crafts. Sometimes I know I've done it before, it's going to work, but I'm really not sure this time. So I'm going to get this, well, it's like it's supposed to be a yarn, and it's all twinkly and glittery. So this is folded 8 times, so it's 8 actual lengths of yarn. And then I fold it in half, pull the loop through, and put the ends through the loop. This is really difficult to do because you can't see what you're doing. It's so thick. And if you take your finger protector off, it's much easier. Through the loop. Pull it down. There. And then I want to do the same the other side. And because you've got 2 pieces, it's easy to separate them. And now you can glue on your angel's head. A little bit of glue in the middle. Pop on a bead. Now you can either get a plain bead and draw a face on. These ones I did buy with the head, the face ready printed. Pull this through. And you can already see this starting to come to shape. I'm going to trim the ends off of this because they are very long. I don't need them that long. And I want to make a bodice and then the skirt. So I did wonder whether I could use this little piece of lace as like an apron. I don't think there's enough flare in it, so I'm going to just tie it off here and then let it flare out. So I'm going to get some of my white embroidery floss. Don't need a lot. Come in just under, whoops, where the arms will be. And this will turn it into like an empire style dress. As if it's coming in just under the bust. So now you can see she's got her lovely dress on. Now we need to give her some hair. And I thought perhaps we'll go for some twine here. I'm going to wrap it round and around and around my hand. I think I may have overdone this for such a small head. Then come down there. Chop. First thing we need to do is chop these ends off. Like that. And then I'm going to turn that in. And I'm also going to try and flatten it out before it gets to my angel. If I try doing this on the bead, all this stress could pull it back off. Yep, that's going to be fine. So now I'm going to pull out 3 strands each side. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. The ones that are closest to the edge. And just for now, I'm going to cut them a little bit shorter. So I can see that's the fringe. And then I'm just going to make some braids for her hair out of these sides. Start from the back, put some glue on. Down there. And I'll sort the sides out in a minute. Let's get the hair actually in place. I know she looks like she's had an electric shock at the moment. Hopefully she's going to improve. There. And I'm going to bring her fringe down. The fringe for some reason doesn't want to come down properly. You can't see her face with all this tinsel on the dress either. Maybe this tinsel yarn isn't the best yarn for it. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue there. Glue her wig on. And I'm now going to splodge it all in her eye. So she got, ow, 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 my eye, my eye. Ow, you've hurt me. Sorry. Poor little angel. You said this wouldn't hurt. I know, I'm sorry. Put the hanger on while we're thinking, are we done? Nothing like a little bit of procrastination before you have to make a decision. This has got to be put on anyway, so I'll do it now. I'm going to put her hands at the top. So I want something here that looks like hands. So I thought I'd use a little bit of ribbon. So it's going to put a little bit of white around the top here. And the theory is it looked like she's wearing white silk gloves. I know. I don't know if it's going to be any good or not, but we'll try it. Chop off the end. And there we got our little ballerina angel with her hands up in the air doing a pirouette. Maybe I should have put the silver on the top. I'll just get a bit of silver and put it on the top and we'll see what it looks like. Does that look more like it's her hands or less? I think less. I'm not going to put it on. So there we go. That was project number 9. Now for project number 10 in our curtain ring Christmas decorations. I'm using these brown wood coloured ones. And I'm going to take the little screws out of the end. And this is going to be based on a woodland theme. I'll use this tin. I think it may be a little bit too big, but we'll find out. I'm just going to wrap loads and loads and loads and loads of layers. I really don't know how many to tell you. I'm just going for what looks like the right amount. And I don't mind, because of the length on these, if I cut too many, it's not a problem. Ball of twine's going all around the place. I couldn't find the middle. Yeah, see, there's just a knot. I couldn't get to the middle. I usually undo them from the centre, but this one was determined not to let me in. Chop it off. I'm going to take it off the tin. I should have said don't do it too tightly on the tin, otherwise this would be really difficult. Put the tin out the way, clatter, and now fold it in half and cut. Take a piece of this twine, double it up, then you're going to go from the inside to the outside with the loop, and then put the ends through the loop. So another piece, fold it in half, from the inside to the outside, put the loop through. So now it's just a matter of putting these on. It's not a bad job at all. It's quite enjoyable. It will take some time. This is the sort of thing you can, if you fancy, go and settle by the TV, watch some TV, put a video on, put some music on, just enjoy it. You can even put your friend on speakerphone who's possibly crafting as well, if you've got a crafter friend, and you can have a little chat while you do this sort of thing. And I'll get back to you when this is completely covered in these, right the way around. So now when you've got them all the way around, give them a good tug. I had to tug these individually to get them to pull tight because this curtain ring's very slippery. And I'm going to take a pom-pom, push it up inside, and then come down over a pine cone until, whoops, my pine cone was very dry, obviously, until it's a nice snug fit. Just slightly loosening your grip as you go. And make sure your pom-pom is on the top and it's nice and straight, and then you need to tie some twine around the top to hold it in place. Make sure that's nice and tight. I'm going to give it an extra knot just in case, and then chop off the ends. And as long as you haven't put too much weight on your pine cone, you would have chopped the bottom off it. Look what I've done. Cool. And there we got the gnome with his hat, and now trim off the bauble. I'm happy with that. So now I'm going to give him a little woodland coloured nose. In with smart glue, pop his nose into place. Another pine cone becomes the beard, and that is really simple. I love the simplicity of it. It's a little bit wonky there. Now I just want to put a little bit of embellishment on the top, and I forgot. I meant to leave 2 of these long and then tie a knot in them, and they would have formed a perfect hanger, but I forgot. So I'm going to make a new hanger. I'm going to chop the ends off after I've tied a knot in it, and I'm going to pop this right into the middle of his little plume, for want of a better word. Might frill that out a bit as well. Ow, ow, ow! I've got some hot glue on my finger. Where's your finger protector? Over there. Put it on. Okay. Pop that in there. Push it down into place. And then squash everything back around it. There you go. Got a hanger. Jiggle this about a little bit because already I'm having terrible trouble with this twine. I really recommend you use the thinnest twine you can. You know they say less haste, more speed? I think that's what's happened with this. I've gone for a quicker to cover, thicker twine, and it's just too thick to do what I wanted to do. So I'm switching back to thinner twine when I run out. The only thing is, look at the size of the bowl I bought. And okay, I'll let you into a secret. I bought 3 because they were cheap, and now I know why they were cheap. They're a right nuisance. Never mind. There we go. That's fine like that. Now he just needs a little bit of woodland decoration on the top of him. So there we go. It needs a little bit more spreading around because of the thicker twine. But other than that, I think he's lovely. I think he's really cute. He's got a personality. And you can add to that personality by adding different embellishments on him. See what you want him to look like. What sort of embellishments would he like to have? So there you go. That was project number 10. Time for project number 11. I've got these 3 plant pots. I bought these. They were selling them off in the garden centre. I think I got 10 for £1, something like that. So I've got myself 3 beads too, and I want to get myself also 3 lengths of twine. And these have to be longer than the pot. This is just rough. You don't have to be measuring these accurately just yet. So now you want to put the twine through the bell, through the bowl, not through the bell. Tie a knot, take your finger protector off, always a lot easier. As you can see, my desk is really starting to get cluttered up now. Nice knot, a little bit of glue on the knot. Pull the bead through. Finger protector back on. Push it in there. Do the same with the other 2 beads, and then we can move on to the next bit. So now get your dongers, your dingers or your dongers, I don't know what you would call them in the bell, the clappers. You want to get your bell and run the twine along this. You can just see the full length of the bell. Hold it with your finger, like that. And that's where roughly you want the knot to come. So I'm just going to trim this a little bit shorter. And put a double knot because you want a nice big chunky knot. And it doesn't matter if they're not all exactly the same length or in exactly the right place. It's just to give it a look of a bell. And as you can see, I got in a right knot with this knot, or a right mess with this knot, but I don't mind because I'm going to stick some glue on it anyways, just to get enough that you've got a fair amount of surface area. I'm going to use my pencil. Oops, there goes something. And pop some glue on the knot. And then hold it in place at the top of the bell, like that. And then do the same with the others. So cut yourself a piece of twine. And then cut yourself another piece of twine, but not the same size. I'd say go about, 3 inches longer-ish. And then cut yourself another piece of twine. And really going roughly here, about another 3 inches longer again. So I'm going to tie a knot, and then tie a nice chunky knot on top of the knot. Because again, this is what gives us a surface area to actually stick it to the bell. Now the glue should be perfectly cool on these, so you can turn them the other way. And I love the way they all ring differently, and I have no idea why not. Go that order. Very strange. Right, so now we're going to glue the bells with the handles on the top. So I'm going to splay out those little bits and push them into place. Finger protector on before you burn yourself. Splay out your knot, pop it into place, So while they're drying, get yourself some embellishments, and then we're going to make the bottoms of these really pretty, or the tops of these. Now we got 3 different length bells, all with their embellishments on. If I show you, I just popped a few, but I didn't want to over embellish these. I think the simplicity speaks for itself. And do they still ding? Let's have a listen. Yep. Isn't that a bit of fun? So next I want to get my curtain ring, and then I'm going to get some gingham ribbon. I'm going to make a hanger out of this because I think it needs the gingham. And then I'm going to tie myself a little tulip bow with fairly long tails, I think. And then cut that one to match. And then these are always a little bit small to dovetail, so I like to just do a slant on the ends like that. If you do them both at the same time, you know they're the same size and the same angle. Right, so now I want to get my 3 bells, hang them like this so I can see what order they need to come in. Make sure that you untwist their thingies, their hangers. And now you want to attach this to the curtain ring. So I'm going to use some twine. No, it's not just because I'm trying to use all this twine up now because I don't like it anymore. So I'll put them over there. You want to hang them so they're in the right place and tie a knot. There, and now it doesn't matter what I do because I know they're in the right place. And then I'm going to tie that onto my curtain ring. There's the double knot. And then I'm going to put some glue onto it, just to make sure it doesn't undo, because as I now know, this twine does not like staying tied in a knot. And then chop off my ends. 1, 2. So I'm going to glue my tulip bow on the front over the knot as well. Since the knot is showing, pop that on there. And then the same as happened to a much earlier craft, is come out of the little gap on the hook of the curtain ring. So I'll just hook it back in. And you've got 2 options. You can either push this knot down here, cut the knot off and put another little bow on there, but I think that's overkill. I'd rather leave the bow at the top. And then all you have to do is hang it up and you've got yourself a wonderful craft made of an old curtain ring, 3 flower pots made of metal, and just bits and pieces I've had around the place. And you can use ceramic pots for these. You can use yogurt pots and paint them up to look like you want them to look. It's up to you. That's project number 11. All done. Project number 12. As you can see, I got these little bowls. They are snow pom-poms for 50p from Hobbycraft. First thing I want to do is to make a hanger for this curtain ring. It's a white curtain ring for this Christmas craft. I'm going to put this red gingham out of the way. I'm not going to be using the black gingham this time. I'm going to get out some snow pom-poms. They're much easier to control than just normal beads. Whoops, there's a pencil stuck to my glue gun. My glue gun is starting to get messy. I'm trying not to let it get too messy. People who've been with me a long time remember my original glue gun and just how dirty it got. It was so heavy because there was so much glue to it. It was ridiculous. So now for this craft, we're just going to be sticking pom-poms all the way around it. And I've seen much larger versions of this, but you don't always have, oh, I've glued it to the table. You don't always have the space for lots and lots of wreaths. That's right, but I see so many wreaths I really love, but I just can't fit them all in my house. But if you make them out of little curtain rings, then you can have as many wreaths as you like. You can just do one tree completely covered in Christmas wreaths in the style you like, but they're all on curtain rings. Pop them all the way around. It's nice and quick, this craft. If you've got a cool glue gun, make sure it is a cool one, then you can always get your children to help as well with this sort of thing. And you can make multicoloured ones, you can do whatever you want to. There's no rules, but I would put your hanger on before you start, otherwise you're going to really struggle to get it on with all these pom-poms. That's all in place there. It's a bit of a suspect gap there. If I budge them down a bit and squash one in there. In you go. I won't fit. Of course you will. Oh, I do. There we go. And now, what we need to really make that look absolutely fabulous is another two-loop bow. If I had £1 for every two-loop bow I've ever made, I would be a millionaire. And that, I think, is one of the easiest and one of the most eye-catching of all these curtain ring Christmas crafts. I think that is absolutely gorgeous. It really appeals to me. So that is craft number, let's check on my reel. That's craft number 12 done. Now, for those who worry about numbers, this is craft number 12B. I'm not at all superstitious, but just in case you are, this is 12B. So I've got this little, I made this out of clay from a mould ages ago and I've never used it. So I'm going to use that. First thing I'm going to do is get this gilding paste out and get this gilded. And I love doing this. You're supposed to use a little sponge that comes in the lid, but I rather use my finger. I like the tactile job of touching it like that and putting it where you fancy putting it. You can do this in the gold if you want to, but this I want highlighted in silver. It's going to be all very, very pale colours. I'm going to get a needle. And I got this lace. I think I'll use a longer needle than that. I like using these Sashiko needles for anything where you're just doing a running stitch. Now, don't be worried about this. I'll show you how easy this is. It is amazingly easy. It's not even like sewing. And the advantage with this is you can use a thicker thread and a thicker needle because it's not going to be seen. It's just to wreath it up a little bit more, so it's much easier to thread. So I'm going to do myself a knot in the end. You don't need a knot in the end because you're not going to pull it all the way through, but just in case you accidentally do. And then you just go in and out with your needle. That's all you're doing, not even tiny stitches. In and out, all the way to the end of a piece. Oh, about 6 inches long, I think. I should have measured this for you. Pull it through. And then take the needle off the end. Make sure you haven't pulled the end out. And then you need to tie a knot in both ends. Pull it together. And look at that. You've got a lovely rosette. It's really easy to do. And it's not even like proper sewing for those people who don't like sewing. You always say, oh, I don't like sewing. Just pretend it's not sewing because it's just poking a peg in and out of a hole, that's all. Right then. Need to chop those ends off, which is a lot easier to do if you haven't got glue strings everywhere, which I have. Like that. Now, okay, everything is stuck with glue strings. Now, the plan is to glue this onto there, but before I do, I want to glue her onto the front of this. I think it'll be a little bit easier to do it in that order. So on with some glue. On with the pretty lady. Now you can use a button, you can use a cameo, bits of jewellery, that sort of thing. You don't have to get yourself a mould and make yourself one of these out of clay, even though it is fun to do. I would recommend a really lovely like pearlized button, something like that. Now while I'm waiting for that to cool, I think I'll turn it up that way, otherwise I'm going to glue it to my table. And I'm just going to get some of these beads. And I just want a bit of a dangle, really. Nothing fancy. Well, it is going to be fancy. Nothing technical, I should say. Let's try putting it over the top like that. Yes, that'll do me. A little bit of glue. Put it into place. Like that. And I think I'll do another lot as well. Why not? Now, I'm going to very, very carefully glue this medallion to the front of the curtain ring. So, don't need much glue at all. My voice will probably go really quiet now because I'm like, oh, got to get this right. Like that. Make sure she's the right way up. Make sure your curtain ring's the right way up. And then very carefully pop it into place. Now, I think they are a bit long. I'm going to chop them a bit shorter. I'm not too worried because I can use all these little offcuts. I think that's a more reasonable length, isn't it? So we just need a little bit of a hanger on it. And you've got yourself another one. Now, wait a minute. This is coming off there. So it's getting just the right amount of glue. You don't want to put too much because it'll come through and ruin your lace. But if you don't put enough, it'll fall back off. So there we go. There's craft number 12B. Coming up is craft number 14. So for curtain ring Christmas craft number 14, I've got this. You probably remember this from previous projects. I'm going to use this to make the hanger. I just thought it would be, well, you're just going to join in with all the glittery theme on this one. So fold it in half, pop the loop up the back, put the ends through the loop, pull it tight, tie a knot in the end. This is my filing system, which has gone completely out of the window. It's not number 8. But I'm going to make a wreath. Now, I was originally going to make, I've got these little stars. I'm taking the little bits of metal out of the ends. And I was going to cover this completely in stars. But I'm wondering whether to just do like 3 stars in the corner up there. The thing is, they're quite bulky. Again, it would be better if they were smaller, but that's the thing when you're working with curtain rings. You have to take the size into consideration. Oh, I think I'm going with that. Yeah, I like that. I'm going to just pick out the back a little bit to flatten them off. They're sticking out a bit too much. So just by doing that. Oh, I snapped his little arm off now. Poor thing. And this one now, where the glue is, empty him out. And now, I put this one on the bottom because I've damaged him. And that one on there, and put the damaged bit facing in, like that. Get the next one, and this one's going to come over like that. So put a nice bit of hot glue on there, and then put the little arm over the damaged bit, like that. Put that one on there, like that. And I've got these. I think they're supposed to be cakes and things. Possibly flower arranging, I'm not quite sure. I pick them up when I see them because they're great for putting onto anything, really. And a ton of hot glue on the back. Make sure my hanger's sticking up. And let's just poke these in as and when, wherever I see it, they'll fit. And see what it looks like then, because I can add as many as I want to. I've got plenty here. And look at that. I just love that. I think it looks really glamorous. It almost looks like the star of Christmas, even though they're the 3 stars, and this sort of infers movement coming from the sides. I just think that is so pretty, so quick and easy. Anybody could do that. So give it a go. You can put anything on here you wanted to. You could put berries or acorns or, I don't know, anything you want. So that's Christmas craft number 14 done. So this is Christmas craft number 15. I know I'm getting a very messy desk. Look at this. So for this craft, I'm going to take a piece of toilet roll. All right, take the toilet roll first and then cut a piece off. You may have seen this. It's a very popular way of making little hats. And then I'm going to need lots of yarn. Not quite sure what length. I'm going to use this Christmas card. That should be fine. I'm just going to wrap it round and around. Look at all these bits. I told you my desk would end up very messy. I'm going to stop there because I can always make more if I need to. The easiest way to get this out is to fold your Christmas card a bit or whatever it is you're using. And then, along with your scissors, chomp, chomp, chomp. Get out your piece of cardboard. And then do that with a finger protector. Come round, fold it in half. Put the loop through the middle. And then do it so the end of the loop, I'll show you now, is actually sticking out. There. I think it'd look neater. So put the loop through the middle. And then do the thready thing. Like that. And now you need to go all the way around your piece of card. So this is what it looks like when you've been around all the way around that cardboard tube and you've got this. Now I think I showed you the wrong curtain ring at the beginning of this. I want a new one with a hook in. So open up my £1.50 pack. I want one with the hook on for this. And I also want to put a hanger coming from this. Ooh, we're really running low on this white embroidery floss. I think we'll be okay. And now I'm going to put this through the cardboard and make sure I don't lose that. Whoops. Like that. So now we've got a built-in hanger. So it's time to put some hot glue onto our curtain ring. Hook it up inside and push it into place. Now I'm going to get my little bit of fur. When you cut this, you'll get, when you cut along, you've either got to slip your scissors right in underneath the layers, or you get this little bit of excess. I didn't, so I've got the excess. But I think that makes quite a nice little beard shape as it is. I don't think I need to trim that. And this is going to go along there. Well, I meant to say turn it over. Now this is going to go along here. And so you want some glue just under the corners, either side of the side that hasn't been glued. One there, one there. Pop your beard on and poke it up either side like that. Now if this was long enough and thick enough, could have made a bit of a moustache out of that. It's going to be a bit of a weird looking moustache, but that doesn't matter. Put it at an angle, I think it's going to look good, but I won't be able to see it. If I just have it coming straight down, you won't see it. So pop some glue onto the back of here. Pop on my finger protector while that's starting to cool. Pop that on there. Pick it up. Glue bits to my mat and try and make sure, oops, it's all poked nicely into the glue. It's a blob of glue up virtually under the hat and poke the nose in up there. Gather together all these pieces of wool at the top of the hat. Using this piece of yarn, I'm going to tie it off, make it look like a bobble hat. Like that. Now you can trim this bobble if you want to, but I think it looks good being really eccentric. So I'm going to trim those to the same length as the rest. Now I think I'm going to put something a little bit more woodland looking. A little bit more befitting of a gnome. So there we go, we got a hanging decoration, Christmas gnome, and that is decoration number 15 in the bag. For Christmas decoration number 16, I got 2 dark chenille green pipe cleaners. I've got hot glue all over my nail. I got this beige colour with like a caramelly brown colour one, which I'm going to cut in half, and I've got 1 curtain ring and 1 red pom-pom. I'm going to fold this in half and then fold it in half again. Push it together really tightly at the bottom and give it a little twist. Like that. And then do the same with the other one. So I fold this in half, fold the top bits down. Oh, almost a half, not quite, I don't suppose. A little bit of a twist there. I'm going to stick this there. Like that. And then this one, this side. Oops, I think we need the glue a bit higher. There. Give that a bit of twist. Like that. Yeah, they're nearly matching. Not quite. That one needs to be bent over a little bit. That'll be fine. And then over the back a little bit and down to the side. Put that one there. Put that one there. Then you want a little bit of glue on the bottom of your curtain ring. And pop on. Pushing it down around the curtain ring. Like that. And you've got yourself a Rudolph hanger. And there we got a curtain ring Christmas decoration of Rudolph. That was decoration number 16. For Christmas curtain ring craft number 17, I've got the curtain ring and my little bit of floss that I'm going to tie a knot in the end, put the loop through, put the knot through the loop, pull it tight, and that's done. And this is, it's not so much very similar to one we've done earlier because that doesn't sound so good. So we're going to call this an homage to one done earlier because we're going to wrap it with gingham. But this time we're going to wrap it with a red gingham. Now we just need a little bit of foliage. And then I'm just going to glue some buttons onto the front. And then wait for it all to dry. And so it's a similar sort of thing. It's just by using buttons. I know lots of people love buttons. So I thought, well, how can I put some buttons onto one without it being too difficult? I didn't want to completely cover a curtain ring with buttons because that could take a while. I could do with a button down there now or something. Look at that, it's a bit ugly. What can we put down there? What about a nice twine bow? There we go, pop a little bow on there as well. So there we go. That's a nice and quick craft number 17. Right, for Christmas curtain ring craft number 18, I do confess I've got a problem. When I worked all this out, I had all my various sizes of curtain rings and I thought, right, I can use some big ones and some small ones for this project, and hadn't taken into account that I was going to use them all on the garland. Right, plan B. So I got 2 of the bigger white ones, and then I've got 2 of these silver ones. I think we'll get away with that. So the first thing I need to do is to connect these. I'm going to do that with some of this. Chop it off. I'm going to double it up, and then these are the first 2 I need to connect together. Now when I connect these, I don't want to get them all sloppy like this when I tie them. I want to make sure there's one under the other, so I'm going to start off with tying like a figure 8 like that, and then back to the beginning just to give them a little bit of a grip in the right direction, if you see what I mean. Spin that around. We obviously don't want the hanger sticking out the bottom there, and now just go around it a few times just to make sure that it's got a really nice coverage so that you can see plenty of sparkle, and also that it's not going to go anywhere. Don't want it flopping because we can't be doing with floppy icicles. And now I'm going to join these 2 together using the same method. Now we want to join these 2. So I'm going to get some of this and I'm just going to put it, I'll put it around my Christmas card. I think that's probably going to be the best size because we can always trim it. So wrap it a few times around the Christmas card. Then cut it, run your scissors under, cut it off the Christmas card. Get yourself some thread. Thread it into a needle where that's folded. Bring it up and tie a knot, leaving a fairly long end like that. This is a bit of a bitty instruction. I think I'm getting tired. Sorry about that. But if you tie yourself a little bit further down from the top now, a knot, pull it really tight and do a double knot. Make sure it's nice and tight before you on the first knot before you tighten the second knot, like that. Trim it off. Throw away your bits that keep getting stuck to you. You've got yourself a tassel. Now for you, I'd really recommend you start this sewing off using the double width of cotton or twine or whatever you're going to be using. I wasn't thinking straight. I pulled it through and now I've had to have all the fuss of threading it again double. So now we got it double, and I'm going to come through some beads. 1 bead, 2 beads, and for the fun of it, 3 beads. Then I'm going to take my needle off the end, open up the cotton, come to the bottom loop, and then tie this piece of beading and tassel with a double knot again onto the bottom of that one. I think I'm going to put a 3rd knot in just because it makes me nervous. I don't want to rethread all that. That wasn't fun. Snip it off. And now you want to neaten the end of your tassel. It's never usually perfectly neat the first time. You don't need it perfect, but you just need it looking roughly neat, roughly level. So like that. And now you've got the option, if you want to add a little bit of pizzazz. And we do love a little bit of pizzazz at Christmas.
Jingle bells ringing in my ear. Jingle bell, a sound that's oh so dear. Frosty the snowman is all around town. Watch out for reindeers are falling down. We stay up waiting for Santa tonight. He climbs down the chimney at the speed of light, while we're dancing around the Christmas tree, hugging and kissing just you and me. Carolers are singing outside our door, lovely songs we all heard before, as they walk from house to house to wish us all a Merry Christmas Day.
But there we have craft number 18. Time for Christmas curtain ring craft number 19. And for this, I've got myself 2 curtain rings and a white pipe cleaner and an orange pipe cleaner and some black foam. That's really boring. It's got some marks, but that's because you're not going to see that side, because I'm going to use the glittery side. Got lots of bits on it. Look at that. Isn't it lovely? So the first thing I need to do is draw something on the back of this. And I'm going to cut that out and think, what height will be good for a hat for a snowman? About there, I think. So let's cut out another one on this bit. And now I am going to round it. I don't know why, and I'm probably going to regret it, but I'm just going to round it a little bit. But I'm going to hold them both together so that I round them both, whoops, exactly the same, or near enough. So get your 2 curtain rings, and like we did with the other, you want to go under and over, or like we did in the last project, I should say. See how that goes. I'll tighten it up a little bit, put them in position. Oh, I'm going to twist them once more. Ah, now that's better. There we are, I've learned something new. They weren't really holding together well. I've given them an extra twist and they're staying in place. Chop the end off. Right, so now I need to make a little scarf, and the easiest way to make a little scarf, get yourself some ribbon, chop off some ribbon, pop it around your snowman's neck, decide where you want it to go. I want mine to go covering the pipe cleaner, so I'm going to glue that bit down there and then glue that bit over the top there, little tiny bit of glue, on it goes. Chop the ends. There we've got the scarf. Now we need to make a nose. So I thought we could make a carrot nose out of this pipe cleaner. I folded it halfway and I fold it in half again and give it a twist. And that twist I'm hoping will make it form a point at the end. Yep, that's making quite a point. Like that. Now I'm going to put that to one side. I'm going to glue the hat onto the snowman. At a jaunty angle, I think. Should I go for a jaunty angle? First of all, you know what we haven't done? We haven't put a hanger on it. There we go, one hanger. That's going to be coming through the hat. And I'm going to put the hat on and decide if I want it straight or at a jaunty angle. I do like a jaunty angle, but I think for the snowman, I think we're going to go straight. We'll go sensible. So put some hot glue on here. I'm not sure exactly where I need it to be, so I'm just going to pop it on anyway for now. About there. Bring that to the centre. Pop some hot glue on there. Pop the top of the hat on. Bring this up to the top. And then I'm going to run some hot glue around the outside edge. The thing is, this hot glue is very hot now because I've had my glue turned on, my gun turned on for so long. It's melting the foam. Looks a bit more like an admiral's hat than the snowman's hat, isn't it? Never mind, we're okay, we're okay. I'm sure you'll come up with a much better way of drawing a snowman's hat. Pinch that inside there. I think this one He's going to be struggling on the top 3. I don't think it's going to make it, is it, to the top 3? It's okay, though. We'll be okay. We'll be okay. Right. Just when you're doing it yourself, I would say make this a lot deeper. I've made it too shallow. I think that's why it looks like an admiral's hat as well. And now I've got the carrot nose, and my plan was to poke this up inside there with some glue. Let's try it first. And it looks like a nose. Yep, I think that's going to be fine. So pop the nose in place like that. And I think it'd be a good idea to put a button there as well. So there we go, a Santa. Rather dubious, but not too bad. I'm sure if you do it yourself, you're going to be making it much better because it won't have this thin brim. You need a thicker brim. That's essential, I think, to make him look like a proper snowman rather than a snow admiral. Right, so that's the end of craft number 18. For this, I got several bits and pieces. I've got this Santa hat. I've got a few Santa hats I was given. And I've got this cone that was a Christmas tree. I've taken the tinsel off it. So I'll be needing that, and I'll also be needing this wood round. Any sort of base will do. This is just, I don't think it's even a real wood round. I picked this up from the car boot sale for £1. So now I'm going to use some curtain rings. I could use new ones, but I'm going to use some older ones. Because with this one, there's such a lot going on, I don't think it's going to be as noticeable that there are marks on them, as long as they're not too bad. So I'm going to start by gluing some together. And this is always a very messy process, and if you can do this straight, then you get a gold award. I don't know what you get for having a gold award, but you can have a gold award anyway. And I just want to pile up some of these. I think 6 will do it, and I'll show you why we need 6 in a second. So there we go, we got 6 of these, and it is very difficult to get them straight. So I'll pop those in. Don't worry about the mess on the inside, you won't see that. Take your Santa hat, take your cone, stick your cone into your Santa hat. Now this one's got a bobble on the end, which I'm going to have to remove, so I'm going to try pulling. Yep, that came off nicely. Oh, and I got a free bobble. Poke your Santa hat in as far as it'll go, and then tuck all this in here, and you've got yourself a covered cone. And I want this cone to fit into this, even with the bobble off. I need another one. We need more curtain rings. Round we go for the last one. Pop it into place. And now, yes, that's fine. So the next thing to do is to glue this into place on this wood round. And it's always difficult. You think you should put it, oops, over there, but it doesn't look right, does it? Because even though that's the centre of the tree, it's not the centre of the piece. So I'm going to put it about there. Now I'm going to take this Christmas tree. It's nothing terribly exciting. It's one of those cheap ones you can pick up from, there used to be £1 in a pound shop, but you don't get much as £1 in a pound shop anymore. And I'm going to cut off the bottom branches. Pull all the arms down. The trick with these is you have to make sure that you have actually touched every single branch. You can pull down a clump, but that's not the way to make it look its best. Every single branch must have been hand positioned. No matter how shoddily, you definitely need to have moved it. Otherwise, you don't get the full bushiness of the tree. There, I think that'll do. So now I'm going to poke my Christmas tree into my hat, and hopefully all the layers inside will support him to some extent. Not perfectly, but it'll help. Now I'm just going to get some old polythene bags and poke them down. To give him a little bit more stability. Right down the bottom. And then I'm going to put my pretty little angel, look at her, isn't she sweet? I'm going to put her sat as if she's coming out of the cone like that. So you can see the general idea. I'm going to put this now up onto my display area and decorate it up there because I can't show you, but this is going to fit in here to stop it falling over. And then I'm just going to add loads of decorations to the top. So let's go see what this looks like. And now for our final Christmas craft from curtain rings. And I've saved this one till last because I'm really looking forward to doing this one. It's something a little bit special, but it's something that you can work towards maybe for actually getting to make a display with or a decoration with. So first thing, let's get putting a hanger on out of the way. So put the loop through the hoop and then put the knot through the loop and we're done. Now I'm going to be using these, what they call feaths. And they're from France. I bought these in a flea market in France, and you can get all sorts of things. They come in what they call the king's cake, and you get this on, I think it's the, I can never remember the date now. It's sometime in early January, and one person will get the fev, and they can be king or queen for the day. There's only one fev in each cake, and if you get it, you're in. So I've got all these, and there's lots of different ones, but I do have quite a few nativity ones. So I thought, well, I'll get together all the nativity ones and I can make, look at little donkey there, I can make a little bit of a nativity onto a little miniature wreath. So that's a man selling newspapers, so that's no good. I'm not sure, there's some man playing an accordion, so he's not really suitable, is he? We got an angel, so yes, we'll definitely use an angel. And I'm not quite sure what that is. Something and the fox. A boulanger, which is a baker, we don't want him there, do we? And the bailiff, we don't want the bailiff. We don't want a picture of a boat. So there are lots of things that are not suitable. The tobacconist. We got Mary there. What's this? That is L'Angleterre, an English lady. We've got a little teacup. That's not going to fit, is it? I'll put my hand there. What have we got here? No, I think that's just a servant girl. I'll leave that there. Oh, we got a king. There's a king. We'll use the king. We got, oh, it looks like another king and another Mary. We can't have two Marys, but we pick which one we like. Somebody making cheese. No, that's a Dutch person. There's another Dutch person, I think. I think that's another angel. We got one angel. Got that. They've got a bee. Does a bee fit in? No. We've got another baby Jesus. We can pick the best. We've got 3 baby Jesus at the moment. We got a cow and a donkey. Oh, that's another king. We pop him there. Another donkey. Wow, this farmer had a lot of donkeys. There's a fleur-de-lis. There's a bird. Could be a shepherd. There's another king. Somebody in 1990 with a bag on their back. And that is, no, that was a lady in a bead. Right, so I think we'll go for an angel first. Which angel should we pick? I think we saw 2. I can't see any now. Oh, there was this one. I think that's the nicest one. And was there another angel? No. Well, if there was, I can't remember. So that's going to be the angel for the top. We want a baby Jesus. Which baby Jesus shall we pick? Which one would you pick? I think I'm going for, I don't want anything too formal. And I don't want anything too informal. So I'm going for this one. This is middle of the road. We'll have that, well, that baby Jesus got an awful lot of hair, hasn't he, for a newborn baby? Never mind, we'll use him. And we'll have Mary. Which Mary should we have? We've got this Mary or this Mary. We'll give her the Mary with the darker hair, I think we'll use. No, you're not getting in on the nativity. You don't fit. So we got Mary, and look at the proportions. It's completely out, isn't it? And then we got a cow and 2 donkeys. We'll just use the darker donkey. Oh, we got a blue donkey there as well. He can go in there. So we got 1 king, 2 kings, 3 kings, 1 shepherd, 1 woman. We'll make that Joseph, okay? Now it looks like another king. Or should we have that as Joseph? No, that's a shepherd. Right, so this is going to be amusing, interesting, and different. So first of all, I'm going to stick the angel at the top. There we go. And now, centre stage, I think we'll put Jesus down the bottom, because he is the main character in the story. So glue him in place down there. And either side of Jesus is going to be his mum. So we'll put her there. Well, she needs to be facing him, really, doesn't she? See if we can glue her on sideways, like that. It's not working very well with these bases on, is it? Right, complete change of plan. It's not working. I can't get all those to fit on. I didn't take into consideration. I was really looking forward to doing this. I hadn't considered the clumpy lump on the bottom of them. So they're going to have to be put on a curtain ring the other direction, or a bit like a centerpiece. I think it'd be fine as a centerpiece. So I'm going to stick the angel at the back, looking on, like that. And then stick baby Jesus at the front. That's the main feature. And then I can stick Mary. Where's she gone? Mary, where are you? Oh, there you are. Oh, Mary. Some glue on there. Take the glue off your dress. You look like you've been crafting. There we go. And you can stand there by baby Jesus. Keep an eye on him. So we've got the donkey having a look, saying, oh, look, there's a baby. And then we'll have the kings then, saying, we don't really fit on this ring. And you're just saying, stop complaining. You should see, I've been on and off the ring so many times. Can I stand there? Yep, you stand there. But where am I going to go with my parcel? I know, I'll stretch forward and lean across the gap and pass this to baby Jesus. Good idea. And then we got room for somebody else. The cow's too big, so we're going to put our shepherd or whoever he is. We're going to pretend he's Joseph. I know. I didn't get to choose what bits were in there. They came in a bag. It was only like 50 cents or £1, €1. So when you think about it, it wasn't bad. And I can't fit anybody else on, but I think it's not quite what I was thinking it's going to be, but it's a lovely little centerpiece. I think that's quite nice. And when you think it's just a curtain ring and a couple of chief pebs, but doesn't it look lovely? And if you want to introduce the Christmas story into your Christmas decorations, but you don't have a lot of space, then this is perfect. I think if you look on eBay, you can pick up Feves, spelled F-E-V-E-S, and you may be able to get some there at a bargain price. So there we go. Whew! 20 Christmas decorations. I'm worn out. It's taken me all day, but I've had a lovely time doing it, and I've only burnt myself once. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up, and subscribing is very important because we have more Christmas in July craft coming your way, and it won't only be the nativity scene. There'll be lots of other things coming too. Right, I'll see you all next time, but until then, don't forget, happy crafting and have fun. Bye.